All right, what's going on today, YouTube? Welcome back to your favorite cyclist YouTube channel. This week, we're taking a look at a brand new light from the guys over at Magicshine. But before we get into today's video, if you are new to my channel, make sure you head down below, hit that subscribe button for me. If you already are subscribed, make sure you hit that bell icon right next to that. That way you get notified every time I upload. That way you don't miss any of this awesome cycling content on this channel. So like I said, today we're taking a look at a brand new light from my friends over at Magicshine. In particular, we're looking at the Hori 900 here. So if you can guess it already, it's a 900 lumen front headlight. This one has some cool features to it. They're a little bit different than what you find on some of the other lineup of Magicshine's headlights. So number one thing you'll notice here is it's got a kind of a Garmin mount up on the top and then a Garmin mount on the bottom. And if you've seen some of the other light videos on my channel, you know that this is kind of one of my favorite things is when companies are starting to do a mount on the top and a mount on the bottom. What that allows you to do is with any standard out front mount here, you can mount this guy up on the top with that twist lock mount there. You just put that right on there and twist it right on. And you can have it mounted up on the top. Or if you feel like having this mounted underneath, you can also mount this up underneath the handlebars as well. Really keeps the cockpit of your bike super simple. Allows you to stack multiple things onto here. You can stack a camera on the bottom here, up on the top. You still mount this up on top here and just mount your Garmin right up on top of it. It really gives you the flexibility to mount whatever you want, wherever you want. I really like that design myself. So let's go into all the stuff Magicshine sent me for the Hori 900. So of course, they sent me the light itself. They also sent me their out front mount. If you have not used their out front mount or you don't have an out front mount already, the Magicshine one is definitely a hard one to beat. It works really well, positions it great out front, has the spot up on the top, and then of course your action cam fingers on the bottom. So really nice out front mount if you don't have one already. Highly recommend checking this one out. They sent me that. They sent me an adapter here. This adapter converts from essentially your male side of the Garmin mount to a 3-finger mount. So for your action cam mount. So you can mount this underneath that out front mount. Kind of cool they include that there. And then the last thing here they threw in here was the wireless remote. And I like the wireless remote from Magicshine. I'll show you guys more about the functionality of that when we turn the lights off, of course, and see how this light functions in the dark. So a couple of things about this light. So 900 lumens, not the brightest, not the darkest, but it does a really good job where it is. What's really cool about this light is it has 2 different modes. So if we just kick that guy on right there, right now it has pretty much the outer lights on, right on the outside. So I cover up the middle. There's nothing I'm covering there. That is your daytime running light right there. So it has essentially just the 2 outsides are all that's on at that moment. If we go ahead and click this twice, you can see it brightens up quite a bit. And that is essentially your light to see with. So that kind of runs both the daytime running lights as well as the normal beam there and gives you that full lumens that you're looking for. So it's kind of neat that it has both of those built in. Super nice. You want to run just a basic daytime running light, you have that. You get stuck out somewhere you need to see, kick on the extra beam on there and you're able to see whatever you need to in the dark. With this light, like a lot of Magicshine lights, it has a great cutoff on here. Pretty much cuts off right on the top of the headlight here. And I'll show you once you turn the lights off here, where that cutoff actually is. But it pretty much cuts it off right about here, right at the top. So the light aims down. Whether I'm aiming it straight or not, it is aimed down. And what that does is keeps that light out of the eyes of oncoming vehicles coming at you. Make sure you're not blinding people. Keeps that light aimed where you want it to be, which is on the ground. Which is what just on the ground and a little bit in front of you, right where you want it to be while you're out riding. Really nice. I love the cutoff design. And this one, it's very obvious it's very obvious the cutoff on this guy. And you guys will see that again in just a moment here. The other nice thing with a lot of the Magicshine lights, including the Hori 900, is they have what they call the FTR technology. And what that means is you can sync your headlight, your tail light, whatever you want to sync to. You can sync all those together and they can be controlled from one remote. That means when you turn on your headlight, all your lights will turn on at the same time. So your front and rear lights will turn on at the same time. Once you're done with your ride, you can click that, turn them off, and all your lights turn off. Really nice that everything can be integrated into itself because all of us are running at least a rear tail light, if not a daytime running light nowadays. If you're not running both, get both. It's going to save you. It's going to make you far more visible on the road. Get both. And the Magicshine makes it super simple to just integrate everything all into just one simple small remote. So, I think we're on to the time where it's time to turn the lights off. Let's see how this light actually performs and see what kind of stuff this actually lights up. All right, so the light works really easily. So if you push this button on the side, that's going to tell you your battery charge right off the bat. So green means pretty much it's fully charged. Blue means it's about halfway. Red means you need to charge that sucker. So push and hold this guy, turn it on, and boom, on goes our light from there. Now, of course, you can do controls up onto the light itself. So right now we have that on our full power mode. We click that twice. You see it turns off that main beam down to the daytime running lights. And then if you flick it back, it goes right back to where it was. So you make all the adjustments on there. I'm going to be using the remote. It accesses a couple more features on this light. But let's go ahead. Let's get this guy mounted on the bike. Let's see how this thing works. All right. So let's go ahead and turn this guy on. So we're going to go push and hold the circle button there on the remote. All right. So this is our main light with the daytime running lights in the low position. So this is 200 lumens right here. You get about 3.5 hours out of this guy. As you guys can tell, it has this really nice cutoff here. In my case, my mount is actually angled just a hair up. So you can see it kind of cuts off right about here on the wall. So that's kind of your main beam right here. If I had my mount tipped down a little more, you're probably going to be right about here. So you're kind of aiming right at the bottom of a windshield. It's kind of where you're aiming at for a standard vehicle. So right about here is where you're cutting off. So let's go ahead and kick this guy up to our medium mode. So there's kind of our medium right there. A little bit brighter. We're looking at 400 lumens. So pretty much double the output there. And if we kick the guy one more up to high, that is 900 lumens right there. So again, not the brightest light, but it definitely does the job and puts out plenty of light. The other thing you'll notice is the output on this is kind of a square rectangle, which is kind of a different output than you see on a lot of lights. Most lights are kind of a circle, and that's kind of what you get, is kind of a circle with a wider beam to it. I actually like this kind of square rectangle. I feel like it gets a little bit wider out there for its main beam pattern. So I think it actually works pretty good. Very different, but I think it works pretty dang good. So medium, high right there. So like I said, high, you get an hour and a half on that 900 lumens of full power there. So this is just our daytime running light here. So just those outside two lights running about 50 lumens there. And that gives us about 7.5 hours. We go ahead and kick that guy onto our flash there. That is our daytime flash. Daytime flash. This is going to give us about 30 hours. So pretty much flashing between that 50 lumens and 0. So we go ahead to here. So we click that square button once. This gives us a different mode. So this is one of those that's only accessible via the remote. You can't change it on the light itself. You have to use a remote to change it. In this case, this is going to be our night flash here. So it goes 30 to 200, 30 to 200, kind of back and forth. So it gives us kind of a nice flash there. 15 hours out of that guy. And right there, we're on our daytime flash again. Again, 30 hours out of that guy. And then to switch back, we just go ahead and we click that square button. That's going to turn us back. So we're in our daytime running light mode right here with the remote. You can also have it go immediately to your brightest setting. So right now, daytime running, pretty dim. We go ahead and hit the square button on the remote. That ups us to 900 lumens right off the bat, right off the rip. Lets you see what you need to see. And all you need to do is push that square button again, and it goes right back down just to whatever mode you're setting before. And that works from whatever mode you're at. So for me personally, I feel like this does a really good job about it. And you can see with these daytime running lights, they have a really kind of wide beam pattern here, which is really nice to have. I like to be visible from whatever angle I'm at, especially during the day. And this gives you that kind of the wide pattern that people will be able to see you. But then when you turn that main light on, that main line really has that big cutoff there. Make sure you're not blinding people coming at you. So I like how they have that set up. That works really, really well. I like the beam pattern on the daylight running lights, and then the big cutoff on that main beam there. I mean, that's still bright enough. You can see that even with all my garage lights on. You can still see that beam on the wall. That's a pretty hefty beam. And honestly, we turn off our. You can't really see it on the wall without them, but it's definitely there. It's just visibility is what it is. And I mean, looking directly at it, it definitely catches some attention. I like how it's two different lights. Really a little bit different than a lot of the daytime running lights, at least I've reviewed on the channel before. So obviously it does the task of lighting very well in a slightly different way, I feel like, than a lot of other lights out there, which is one of the reasons why I like this light is it's different. Number one, it has a more compact form factor. So if you have a tight cockpit up here, and in my case, I have a bar bag right here. So having a long light here hits into that bar bag, makes it so I can't use it. This guy here, nice and compact, still have access to my bar bag. Really cool with this small form factor, it's able to do that. With this guy, it is USB-C rechargeable. So of course you have USB-C, thank goodness. Nice and fully weather sealed, so you can ride this thing in whatever weather you want to ride in, and it's not going to have a problem. Aluminum casing on here, and kind of a neat little thing they added into the package that took me a second to figure out what it was, is it comes with this little bag of little adapters in here. And it took me a second to figure out what these were. So what they give you is an extra plate for the top. What this plate will do is pretty much goes in place of the current plates. This one's going to be for your Wahoo computers versus your Garmin style mounts here. In my case, I run the standard Garmin mount, so this one's going to work perfectly fine for me. Then it included this little button here. And I stared at the little button for a while and couldn't figure out what it was for. So I actually opened the instructions. Yeah, I opened the instructions. And what this little button is for is to cover up whichever one you're not using. So if you're mounting this on the bottom all the time and it's just mounted up underneath the bottom, if you don't want this piece right here on and you want it to look a little cleaner, you can remove this little male piece on the bottom and put this little button in place. And it just kind of makes it look a little cleaner. Honestly, that's just a little attention to detail that you wouldn't even think of. I never would have thought of that. And it's really cool that they include that. For those people who want a clean looking light, that just want to mount in the same spot every time, never going to use that. They can just put this little cover on there and make it look really neat. In my case, I like the capability of being able to swap it wherever I want to put it between bikes and make it work for my application. So I'm going to keep mine kind of the way it is. But really cool that they include that capability there. So really cool light. Highly recommended. Of course, come with a 2-year warranty on there, like most of Magicshine's lights. Hard to beat that. I have not had a problem with Magicshine lights in the few years I've been running them. I haven't had a problem with them. So if you guys are interested in checking out the Hori 900 for yourselves, I'm going to have a link in the description down below. Check them out. Magicshine has all sorts of other great products as well. I'm going to link to some videos up in the corner. If you've never seen any of my other videos on Magicshine lights, take a look at them. Big thanks to Magicshine for sending me out the Hori 900 so I can test it out, show you guys another interesting and different light out there on the market. If you guys enjoyed the video or at least found it entertaining, give this video a big thumbs up. Appreciate the support. Any comments or questions, let me know down in the comment section below. Love talking to you guys. Love answering questions you guys have. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching today.